Today I have prepared for you a really awesome piece that I did. Is actually a 1970s piece that I actually got given to me for free. And it was very outdated and I wanted to do something really special to give her a new life in a very simple and easy way. So I use only one paint, which is one step paint on the beautiful color linen, which is my favorite now. So I did paint it. I also did a little bit of a wash with the same type of paint. I sanded it in some areas and it's looking like a totally brand new piece. This is the photo of what I started with, and you're gonna see how the transformation is starting to happen and what is the end result. So please tell me from where you're watching and tag your friends to win a can of One Step Paint this time, okay? So I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get started.
All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to start to clean our piece with a clean slate. This is the best product that I know that can take away any grease, any residue, anything that has been put on top of the piece throughout years of wear. And as you see, I sanded the piece on top and other parts, so I have to clean all that. The next thing I'm doing is I'm going to start applying my one-step paint. I chose color linen. This is a beautiful white creamy color. I really love it, and right now this is my favorite color. So I'm going to be leaving some parts raw wood, and obviously I'm painting some parts. And as you can see, I don't need to sand. I don't need to strip the paint. I can apply straight my one-step paint on this piece of furniture, even though this stain is been there since the 70s. It's an old stain. I don't have to remove it. I just clean the piece and my piece is ready to actually apply now the one-step paint. The application is very simple. I'm gonna be doing a couple of coats, and as you can see, I didn't have to put primer first. So no problem. I almost never have to put primer. Some pieces bleed, but if that's the case, then there's a few handlings that we can do. But in this case, I just apply directly without priming, and I'm going to be doing 2 coats on the parts that I'm painting. So this part is done. We're going to let it dry, and then we're going to apply a second coat after this. For the front of the piece, we're going to be doing some parts painted and some parts we're going to leave them raw wood. So I'm just painting the top, the bottom as well, and some parts of the drawers, which I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to be doing with those. But for this part, it's very easy. I didn't even have to tape, and it's very easy to manage and apply this paint. What I'm doing here on the drawers is I'm covering the holes because I want to put some more modern pulls. So I'm using some wood filler to fully cover those holes. I'm going to have to sand it once it's dried in about half an hour to an hour. And then we're going to paint this part of the drawer to make it look more modern. Okay, so while I'm waiting for my wood filler to dry and my paint, I'm going to be doing some very cool technique here. I diluted the same paint, which is one-step paint on linen, and I actually put a cup of water and I put 1 tablespoon of paint, and I'm using it as a stain. Basically, this watered down paint is going to absorb into my raw wood, and this is going to act as a stain. The reason why I decided to do this is because this type of wood has a really yellow tone and kind of like more into the red tones, and I don't want that tone to come out once I'm going to protect my raw wood, because I'm going to be putting a sealer on top and that's going to darken the wood. So I decided to do this stain, and this is gonna give it a look more like white, the same tone as the paint, and it's gonna be looking really gorgeous. So once you apply the watered down stain, you have to just wipe off the excess with a shop towel or a paper towel. Just make sure it's really wiped down, and then you can do a couple coats, but I'm just going to be doing one in this case. The drawer is ready now to apply the one step paint. So what I did is I waited for the wood filler to be fully dry, and then I sanded it down and to level that with my drawer so it doesn't look kind of like rough, those holes. Sanded it down, and then now I'm just applying the one step paint on the part on the middle. As you see, the two edges are raw wood, and those also I'm going to be applying the stain with the paint. It's also called a wash. I call it a stain with the one step paint. And once this paint is dry, I'm going to be doing the wash on the sides of the drawer. But as you can see, the application is super, super simple. I really enjoyed one step paint. Definitely is one of my favorite chalky type of paint. It dries really fast. I don't have to sand between coats like with other chalk type of paints, and it dries fast. So I'm going to be doing 2 coats on every surface that I painted, and the coverage is really great. Even though it's white, I'm really satisfied with the coverage. So I'm just going to be doing 2 coats for this particular piece because it's not dark to begin with. And that's it. So I'm going to let it dry, and we're going to be applying a second coat throughout the entire piece. Okay, so we're almost done, and the last step that we have is protecting our raw wood, and I'm going to be using matte sealer with this. And what I'm going to use to apply it is this little sponge I have. I really like how I can actually manage the sponge. Okay, so matte sealer is an unbelievable, incredible protection for raw wood. In fact, it's completely matte or flat, and it doesn't have any shine. And I really love it because it gives this absolutely gorgeous look to raw wood. And especially with this part that we actually did a stain with the paint, is going to leave that beautiful tone, and you're going to be able to appreciate so much the raw wood, like if it wasn't protected, but in fact it is. So the way I did it is I just, saturate the sponge and go, back and forth, and just try to, cover the whole thing fast. Don't overwork it. But it's very simple. It's absolutely simple to apply. And that's it. I'm going to be doing the top like that, and I'm going to be doing the parts that are raw wood. And I'm going to be putting probably 3 coats for the top of the piece because it's going to be used a lot. Okay, so this is time for the big reveal. Our piece all put together. I put some new handles that match more the color of the piece. The piece was done with one step paint on linen. I only use one paint for this project. I used it as a regular paint, and I use it as a stain. As you can see, the raw wood has this stain. It is really soft to the touch, and it has this really beautiful tone. It really, really matches with the style. Those handles make a huge difference. But I only use one step paint and matte sealer. Those were the only 2 products I use. A very simple and easy project to do. You can appreciate a little bit the inside. This is a very solid piece, and yeah, it was given to me for free. So I hope you like the project, and I hope that you venture into converting something old into something beautiful, something old into a treasure. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this project. I'll see you next time.